Hey everybody, Joy here. What day is, oh my goodness. One of my gloves fell off a Willie. Oh no. Gotta put that back up. Oh my, I wasn't expecting that. I probably backed up on it. I sprayed all these little leaves with that, temporary sticky stuff to get them to stay there because they've been up there for months. I did just finish the pumpkin though. But hey everybody, Joy here. It's July 4th. Hey, God bless America. And happy July 4th to everybody. Let's celebrate our freedom today by making some of these. What you can do is you can wear them for rings if you want to. I've had a lot of questions about my pattern weights that I use. I love them. I love them, I love them. And so we looked up an Ace Hardware store because, this is our house near Tulsa and I've never seen an Ace Hardware store here. So it turns out they built a brand new one just 1 year ago. And it's probably about 10 miles from here, but we can get there. And we did get there. So I'm going to show you what they are, how you find them, how not to get the wrong ones, and how to wrap them with the grosgrain. Is that the goofiest name? Grosgrain. G-R-O-S-G-R-A-I-N. Grosgrain. But you just say grosgrain. Is that even an English word? Grosgrain ribbon. Now the ones that I have at my other house that are real pretty, and I have some downstairs, I bought the grosgrain ribbon on the little spools from Hobby Lobby, and they have that stuff half price all the time. And so I think one of the spools has a yard of grosgrain ribbon on it. You need a whole yard, believe it or not, to wrap one of these. The ribbon itself is 5/8 inch. It could be a 1/2 inch, but this is 5/8 inch. And you need a yard of it to go around and around and around and around and around. So I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get a new battery for that camera because it's about to go dead. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it because I've had people over the years ask me many times. All right, let's go downstairs. All right. The first thing you have to have is a gun. Ouch! What did I just throw at myself? Black glue? Black glue? Where would black glue come from, you guys? Oh my goodness, how crazy is that? It's actually rubber. Oh, it goes here on the bottom. Know your tools, my friends. That's not black glue. It's a bumper for the bottom. See? So it doesn't scooch. And I just happened to find this. I brought it from my other house at some point, and I found it. And it has this little holder thing. Isn't that nice? And it has these little baby glue sticks. So this is a hot glue gun, I'm sure you know. And you have to plug it in or it won't be hot. There you go. And then you have to put some glue in it or it won't do anything. There you go. Alright, so we'll heat that up. So here's what we're working with. They come in a box like this. There's 10 of them. Now you don't have to buy the box, but I always wanted at least 10 of them, so I always just got a box. But in front of the box, there's loose ones. There's individual ones in the tray. I took a picture of it at the store. Here's a picture. They are really hard to find. You'll never find them, ever, if you don't know exactly where to go and what to look for. So they're called Hex Nuts. Hex Nuts. And they're the biggest ones that they have there. Now, yesterday, I decided I wanted 2 boxes of them. So when I pulled the drawer out, there was a box on the left and a box on the right, and I bought both of them. Well, when I got home, I discovered that they weren't both the same size hex nut. The one on the right was the size of the hex nut, obviously, in the tray in front of it. The two trays were together in one pullout. See, so the box behind this nut went with that size, and the box behind this nut went with this size. So I have to take one box back and start over. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So what kind of ribbon do you use? Now this ribbon's boring. I have 3 of these. I bought them years ago because Sandra Betzina was using them to finish waistbands on pants. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll buy some of those. And of course, if you go online, you know, they're from another country and you get 5,000 yards of it. I like the ones from Hobby Lobby. They're probably more expensive, but they're cuter. You know, this is green with polka dots and yellow with polka dots. And there I probably ran out of green and just started another one. You can see that works fine. Here's purple. Purple with polka dots. So Hobby Lobbies are a lot more fun. A lot more fun. White with black polka dots, you get the idea. So I probably have 50 of them already between my 2 houses, but this house has 4. 3. This room has 3. This house has 3 sewing rooms. So I need to have enough for all 3 rooms so I don't have to come down and get my box and take it to a different room, see? And just find a cute little box. A teacup came in this years ago and I thought it was the cutest box. And so I've been using it for these magnets for years. I probably had these 15 years. So show us what to do, Joy. While we're waiting for the gun to heat up, you know. So, you get your grosgrain ribbon. What a weird name. But it has to be that way because there's ridges. You have to have, ruffles have ridges. You have to have the ridges of the grosgrain. But hey, try anything. Try any kind of ribbon. This is just what I started with, and so I kept going with it. I'm sure just normal ribbon without the ridges in it would be just fine. Who knows? So I'm going to cut 36 inches right here, and you won't believe it takes all of it. All right? So you get your nut, and you just stick the end of the ribbon in there. You have to have it loose. You cannot have it attached to the bolt. That's how come you have to know how long to cut it, because you have to have the bolt gone. You can't stick the bolt through this little tiny hole. So what I do is, I start with it going inside and wrapped around one of the flat sides. Then I'm going to take this and wrap it around from there. But before I do, I'm going to put some hot glue on this piece right there. It's the beginning of the ribbon is what it is. Some hot glue right there. Then I'm going to start wrapping. That hot glue will hold it for the rest of eternity, evidently. These have been hot glued since, oh my goodness. When was it? When Jerry's mom died and I was taking care of her house. I wrapped a whole bunch of them up when I had to stay in her house for 6 months. That was a long time ago. See? And so then you can bring your long piece through and you have it attached right there. Okay? So then, this is, you know, get your kids to do it. Although it'd be kind of bad if they burned their fingers. And then wrap. So what I do is I go about to the center of the piece that's there, because you have to wrap around what's there. You don't wrap next to it, you wrap around it. Hello, come on, pull tight. That's not wrapping very good, and I don't know what its problem is. If you make a video, make sure your ribbon is going to behave. So you got your tail coming through. You're going to wrap it about, not next to, or it won't look good and it won't work good. It won't be all covered. So about halfway, or at least a third of the way, over the piece that's already there. Okay? Hold it with your fingers. Your fingers are your best tools. Pull it through. Now this is how I do it. I never saw anybody do this. Nobody taught me how to do this. So you know, if you've seen somebody else, oh Joy, we know a much, much better way. I'm sure a lot of you do. So tell me what your way is, okay? But this is for the people who ask me how I do it. Everything on my channel is how I do it. However, a lot of what I do on my channel, I did learn from someone else. Philly, my best friend Philly, her name is Phyllis, but I call her Philly. She and I, when we were way younger than we are now, we've known each other over 20 years, we used to go and take classes on how to make a sewing pattern fit you, because we got tired of making clothes that didn't fit. So we learned a lot of things out there that we apply to our skills now. You see how short it's getting? And I've still got a third of it to do. Pull it tight, pull it real tight. And you would think it wouldn't wrap around these sharp corners, but it does. Because you are. Now if you get to the end and you find out you don't have enough, unwrap it for a ways and then move it farther over. I usually wrap it too close to the piece that's already there, because I just like these especially. This is 3 washers. If you can't find these Hex Nuts, this is 3 washers together, because 1 washer, I've seen a lot of people use 1 washer, and I don't know how, because I don't think it holds. See here? See how short my ribbon is? You probably thought, oh my goodness, you don't need that much. Yes, you do. Now here I am. I'm back where I started. So I'm going to go around it. Uh-oh. I wish I had enough to go back around it into the inside, but I don't. So, like I said, I'm going to unwrap it for a ways. And I'm going to give myself a little more. You don't have to wrap it as tight as I do. I mean, you have to be as tight, but you don't have to cross the other piece over. See, now I have room to cross where I started. See, I have plenty of room now, and even extra, to cross it over and put it inside. All right, that's what I like to do. So now it's going to be too long, so I am going to put some more glue inside that original piece. Just a little dab will do you. And then, when I first did them, I like to fold this over, and you can if you want to, or you can just cut it off so it's still on the inside. But I kind of like to fold it over and make it pretty. Like that, you know. And then tack it again. Like right there. Better. So if you end up like this with a little bit sticking out, just cut it. It's not going to unravel. Just cut it. Just like that. And then if you need to, you can put a dab more glue on the end, because you don't want any frayed edges. Then you have to have a plastic thingy. I'm using the plastic end of this seam ripper because it doesn't care if it gets hot from the glue. And on the end here, you need it to be close. Now, I usually like the ending to be on the inside, but it doesn't matter. It's going to stay forever. And when you're using it, you're not going to pick, well, unless you're me, you're not going to pick them up and stare at them and go, I didn't do a very good job ending that. I did such a good job on this one, I can't even find the end of it. I was younger then. I had better eyes. I'm going to hold it up real close so you can see the wrap on this. Hold on a second. I'm looking for the end. Where did I finish you? Oh, right there. So I finished this one the exact same way. I just showed this one. Ended up on the top and glued the edge. Ended this one the same way. So I'm going to show this to you up real close. Hold up. So you can see the exact wrap. See? You just go around and you keep covering what you put there. See? And here I ran out, and so I just started the yellow on top of the green. Okay? And they are so nice. They don't get dirty. I've never had mine get dirty because I keep them in a box, I guess. But if they do, hey, vacuum them or something. I wouldn't throw them in the washer and dryer. That would be bad. All right, so there we go. But those others are different, Joy. I know. And so what about my other ones? I showed you this. This is 3 washers wrapped together, same exact way. 3 washers, nice weight. And these are wonderful, but you can't get these. I had a friend named Diana one time. Loved her dearly. Name was Diana. She decided she didn't want to be my friend anymore, and I've been brokenhearted ever since. But her husband got these for me at some hardware kind of store. You have to have a business to go in there. But these are heavy. I mean, heavy. These are Hex Nuts, and you can see they're way bigger than those. And I really like them. But that's all I've got. And so I have a whole bunch of these where I got 3 washers, probably at Lowe's, because Lowe's doesn't have the Hex Nuts. I don't know if I got these. Those are a little bit bigger right there. Those are a little bit bigger. But these washers, I'm sure Lowe's has some this big, but they're just not heavy enough for me. Now there's other people that like them and use them. But you can see how many I have. And then there's 3. Here's the great big ones. Is itty bitty washers. You can see they come in all sizes. So this one's another 3, but that one's just real lightweight. That one I probably never ever used, but it's cute, isn't it? Those little spools of grosgrain ribbon at Hobby Lobby are just way too cute. You can't get them at Joann's anymore, obviously. So these are the different sizes I have, but these are the ones I'm showing you how to do today. See, and they can roll and they're cute, and oh my gosh, I just love them. And so why do I have them? I have them because you don't have to pin the pattern down when you have the weights, but I want mine held down really good. I'll use lots and lots of weights, and sometimes I'll move the weights around to the part, like if I'm cutting a corner, and I'll put them like close to the corner so it'll stay put. So love them, but you do you. This is for the people that have asked me over the years, how do you do those weights? Okay, and see how good they fit in the box. Aren't they cute? I love it, love it, love it. And if you need a real big weight, you just put this down. Okay? So I'm going to make this a video all by itself, just so people can look up how to make a pattern weight. And I'll be back soon with another video. Bye for now.